Welcome everyone to the September 18th briefing session, and we're going to start with roll call.
Council President Kinnear.
Present.
Councilmember Bingle.
Here.
Councilmember Cathcart.
Present.
Councilmember Ulrich.
Here.
Councilmember Stratton.
Here.
Councilmember Wilkerson.
Present.
Councilmember Zapone.
Here.
Let the record reflect that all council members are present.
Thank you. And we're going to start out with today's because it is very short. And we have a town hall this evening. We have 15 neighborhoods who are going to present. And after that, we will have open forum and then the consent agenda and then 2 items that are going to be first reading ordinances. Do I have that right, Mr. Byrd? Okay. So, Mr. Jones, do you want to go ahead and read the first reading ordinances?
Do we have to, didn't we already,
What?
are we going through each one of these? No, we've already
No.
done that.
No.
Okay,
Did that, but been there, done that.
okay.
Okay.
I get you. I'm on the same page now, Council President. All right, so the first reading ordinances for tonight. We have the first one is C35425 as amended, and this will be briefed by Eldon Brown.
Great. Welcome, Eldon.
I don't have my map on me, but this is the one we talked about last week at Ross Court, which is, we're just changing the actual description to provide for a turnaround out there, a public turnaround in the right-of-way. This is where Riverview Retirement is out there off Upriver Drive in North Center Street. So what we're really doing there is when we initially wanted to vacate Ross Court a few years ago, we were going to go right to the intersection of Granite Street. And we vacated Granite Street south of Ross Court, going down to Upriver Drive. So when we got all said and done, we ended up with a leg of granite out there that really didn't have a public turnaround where you come down. And so we needed to reestablish that public turnaround in the right-of-way without everybody trying to use Riverview Retirement's circular drive that they have on private property right at that intersection. So we're just here to actually revise the legal description from what we originally have to accept out a piece of right-of-way there on Ross Court, just short of that intersection, and go through a new first reading and final reading since we actually had the hearing on this a couple years back. So we just haven't completed the actual final reading of this, and that'll be on the docket for next week. They've actually completed all the conditions to it. We're just now following up with some of the paperwork to finalize it. So I would be happy to answer any questions, and I can certainly, I think next week we have the final reading. I can put the map back up there if you want to look at it too. So,
Questions? Thank you, Eldon.
thanks.
Thank you, Eldon. And then ordinance C36441 relating to the shoreline regulations. This will be presented by Tyler Kimbrell.
Good afternoon, Council. This was briefed last week and at PIES on August 28th. This is amending the Shoreline Master Program to allow aquaculture, specifically for a fish rearing facility being developed by the Coeur d'Alene tribe. And then this will be at hearing next week, so you'll make a decision then, and I can present more.
Just curious, does it still have to go back to Ecology to get their final sign-off?
Yeah, this was a joint process, so everything that we do here will have to be signed off by Ecology, and we're working with a rep from Ecology right now so they know the whole process.
How long will that part take?
They have to issue us an initial determination, and that was from 30 days as of 2-3 weeks ago now, so we should be hearing back from them soon. And then once I get the initial determination, I'll have to submit further for a final determination, and then the ordinance will be signed.
Okay, great.
Yep.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you. I have a question. Do you want me here tonight for first reading in case any public comment? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Before we go on, just a reminder that because we have 15 neighborhoods presenting, that's 10 minutes each. So those of you that are good at arithmetic know that's 150 minutes. And that's a long time. So I thought we'd split it up just so we can stretch our legs in between, maybe 5 or so minutes. And remind the people who are taking signatures, Jacoby, or I'm not sure who's doing it. You are. Just remind people that the open forum is happening after the 150 minutes. So they're going to be waiting for 2.5 hours for open forum. But remember, our neighborhoods come first, and we are in agreement on that. So we want to make sure that we give them the first crack at council. Thank you. Now on to September 25th.
All right, so moving into consent items for the 25th. Number 1 is a multifamily housing property tax exemption. A couple items here. These will be briefed by Amanda Beck.
Good afternoon, Council. So we'll be bringing 3 contracts before you. The Wolf Apartments on 32nd Avenue are for 4 units, and those are in District 2. All 3 of the conditionals are for the 12-year program as well. And then both of the Kinda townhouses, respectively, on Liberty and Stewart, so that's 6 and 9 units. Were there any questions? Thank you.
All right, thank you, Amanda. Number 2 is a grant award for the Office of Justice Programs that will be briefed by Sarah Thompson. I don't see Sarah Thompson here or online. I don't know if there's any questions I can bring back for her. Are we good? All right, well, moving on to number 3 is a 5-year contract with Waste Collections that will be briefed by Chris Avert.
Good afternoon, council members. Today I'm seeking approval for a 5-year contract with an additional 5-year extension with Finley Buttes Limited Partnership, which is a subsidiary of Waste Connections for the transportation and disposal of ash from the waste energy facility. RFP was submitted for these services, of which we received 2 responses, and Finley Buttes Limited Partnership was chosen as the preferred option. The anticipated annual cost for this contract is $4,500,000 with annual price increases determined by the CPI index. Any questions? Thank you.
All right, thank you, Chris. Number 4 is a Washington State Department of Ecology agreement that will be briefed by Trey George.
Good afternoon, Council. I'm here to request consent to enter into a contract with Ecology for a grant award for $300,000, of which there's a 25% match, making the project total $400,000. The project match is going to be paid under partnership with the Valley and the county. The MOU was approved by Council in July 2023. And are there any questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Trey. All right, now through 5 through 7. First one being number 5 is the value blanket with ATS Inland Northwest will be briefed by Dave Steele.
Good afternoon, Council President, council members. The first 3 contracts here relate to HVAC systems. We've got a value blanket contract, which allows us to buy equipment, controls, and to continue getting our parts and pieces. Currently, almost every HVAC system that the city has in any given facility is different components, different controllers, different software. We've got pneumatic. We got every Lego in the box. And so what we're trying to do is very similar to our Camtech contract, bring that all under one provider, one type of equipment, which allows us to then be far more efficient and effective. This also wraps it all up into one software system that would allow us, very similar to a community college, to see any building at any time from one laptop. You know, we can reach in and go, oh, hey, the council president's office is very warm. Let's cool that off. You know, so.
I don't have an office.
So that's number 5, and then number 6, A and B. Those are the labor portions to this contract. Again, very similar to Camtech. You buy the parts, the same company that bids on the installation, because that keeps the proprietary equipment being installed by their providers. Then the warranty periods, all those things roll through that. It is split into 2 because you have maintenance and you have installation, which are separate labor portions. So these are last bit is these are formulated as master contracts, so that allows us to work with any department, can come to us, bring their budget number, we can then do the evaluation, get the quotes from the company utilizing the price points, and then install per department as budget becomes available. So, yes, ma'am.
We've had a significant number of HVAC issues this summer in various city buildings.
Yes.
That have really caused delays and frustrations on many parts. So how will this help expedite that, the parts, but how will this help more?
What this will do is give us a look ahead. So rather than waiting for a piece to fail, the alarm systems that are set up, the sensors, the various controls and other components allow us to look at a piece of equipment and go, actually, it's sliding out of its green zone in advance. And then you can go, okay, wait a minute, let's get somebody in there to look at that piece of equipment before it fails. It also allows us to then track preventative maintenance pieces on those HVAC bits, parts, so that it allows us to get in front of those things. Rather than being reactive, we become proactive. So,
And have we been able to track any performance measures on these HVAC systems?
not in the past, because like I mentioned, we've got probably a handful, 7 systems out there. And then we have many buildings that have no central controls. They're just a thermostat on the wall. So we have no way to know until something fails. So.
Thank you.
All right, and then number 7 is a contract we're bringing forward in partnership with the sewer department and purchasing. We went through a design process with an architectural firm over the last 14 months. We've put together a small office expansion to allow them to get out of their kind of caged appearance on the second floor of the sewer building. This also brings a significant electrical infrastructure upgrade to the entire building. It puts in new switchgear, new service, new sub panels to allow us to then continue to use that building in an efficient and effective way, and provides for the light duty EV charging that they're moving forward with. So this gets us, I believe, 10 light duty vehicle charging stations in the building for that. So. Great, thank you much.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Dave. Number 8 is the purchase of a used undercover vehicle for the police department, and this will be briefed by Rick Giddings.
Good afternoon, Council. We're looking for pre-approval to purchase a used vehicle for the tactical operations team. Change in federal participation in our Safe Streets program has left them needing at least one vehicle. Cost of the vehicle would not exceed $40,000, including tax and commissioning. Any questions? Great, thank you.
All right, thank you, Rick. Number 9 is the claims and payments previously approved on obligations, including parks and libraries, 10's council minutes, and then moving into the legislative agenda. We have one special budget ordinance. This is associated to the consent item number 2 for the grant of the $500,000. And then moving into, we do have one emergency ordinance amending the type of vehicle, police vehicles allowed to be procured, and this will be briefed by Rick Giddings.
Should have stayed up here. This is very similar to what we talked about a couple of weeks ago. We changed the wording on an ordinance to allow us more freedom in finding vehicles. With the dire situation we're in with police vehicles, we need to be able to jump on any vehicle that we can get. This is an ordinance that was passed last August, and we just want to change the wording to allow us to buy not only hybrids but non-hybrids. We bought some police responder pickups with the last ones. We were able to secure those. We found 11 vehicles that are either in dealer inventory or soon to be in dealer inventory, and we really want to be able to get our hands on those, especially with the UAW contract or the UAW strike that's going on. What we're hearing is that there's a pretty high likelihood that we're going to have major disruptions on top of the disruptions that we've already had. So we're asking again to change some wording and so that we can be nimble and get some police cars in the hands of police. Yes.
I'm curious, knowing that disruption is potentially coming, and we're already kind of the dire situation that we're in with vehicles, is there anything else that we could be doing to procure vehicles that's outside the box that we have not yet tried?
We're so far outside the box right now. We've bought used vehicles. There are Douglas County selling some vehicles. We're looking, they're supposed to be in pretty good shape. We're looking at those as well. It all takes money. We want to be very careful about what we cancel and free up money. We don't want to buy a whole bunch of duds just because we can get our hands on them, right? And so, yeah, there are other brands out there. That's not always ideal if we can avoid that. But with the ability to purchase these Explorer Kates, even though they're not hybrid, and again, we're not changing from, hybrids are not considered a clean fuel vehicle. We're not changing from a clean fuel vehicle to a non-clean fuel vehicle. We're just switching from one to the other. So with these ones available, these ones meet our fleet. We've got parts for these in stock for the most part, so it's a good transition. Are we going to change all of them? Hopefully not, but with the UAW strike, we just don't know. And once the UAW strike takes hold, every police force is likely going to start, snapping up every vehicle they can get a hold of. And so we want to be able to act nimbly once that happens.
So, thank you.
Yes.
Are we're not restricted just buying our cars in the state of Washington, are we?
No, and in fact, we're looking in Georgia right now. There are some dealer inventory there. We heard that there were like 40 vehicles. It turns out there's 6. They're non-hybrids. So we can do that, but we do have to go out through the bid process. It does take some time. We have to advertise that. It takes a couple of weeks to do that. And so, starting today, we still have close to a month before we get those. And so, there's a high chance that we could lose some of those vehicles. So we want to get the word out there and get as many leads as we can.
Okay. I just know that HR Director Moss had mentioned he was travels and had ran across 70 police vehicles that were on the lot that were ready to be purchased. He reached out to the department. He said he never heard anything else. And that was my question about being restricted to the state of Washington and if the RFP ever went out for those.
This is step one in that. However, we're advertising it right now in advance of getting approval to purchase. Outside of that, we like to purchase off of a contract because it's faster that way and it's already done. But so we do have to go out to get requests for quotes for those vehicles. Corwin Ford here in town has 4 that they ordered for the county that were in excess, and so we're looking at those too. Have to go through the same process for that as well. But yeah, Mr. Moss's suggestion is what led us to this point.
All right. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Any other questions?
Yeah.
Yeah,
thank you. So I'm trying to remember, because I feel like we've been talking about it a lot, so trying to keep track of all the different ones that we've talked about. So does this effectively mean all the ones that we allocated last year, the funding for last year, now they can all be non-hybrid, non-electric vehicle, they could be internal combustion engines? Is that effectively, this is like the last of the ones that we allocated last year?
Yeah, and not to get caught on semantics, but hybrids are internal combustion engine vehicles, right? But yes, so we had the 25. And if you remember, we actually changed the wording on the 46 so that if Ford canceled the order, we could act. Well, it turns out Ford's never going to cancel the order until it's too late to even order the next model year, right? So it doesn't do us any good to do it that way. So we're kind of rechanging this one to add some more freedom. Are we going to cancel all the orders? We sure hope not. But we do need to have the freedom to get the vehicles if we can find them. And so to answer your question, it would be everything that we have on order.
All right, so this is the last of them.
The last, exactly right, yeah.
And then I had a question about when we're buying used vehicles, in this case, what mileage are we looking at for those used vehicles?
The most recent, I'm sorry.
Yeah, was it Douglas County, is that what you said?
Yeah, that email just came an hour or so ago, and so I haven't had much chance to research that. However, the ones we just purchased had 80,000 miles on them, and they needed a fair amount of work. But we're in a state where those 80,000 mile vehicles are, pretty high up on our quality level of the vehicles we have, because we've got so many that are over 100,000 miles.
So we're purchasing, I'm guessing it's cheaper than what we allocated money for, is that right? If we're buying a used vehicle for $80,000, it'd be cheaper than a new vehicle?
Oh yeah, significantly,
Yeah.
and they were commissioned, and so we're trying to kind of thread the needle between the value needle, right? We want to make sure that these are good value, so we don't have to put $20,000 in commissioning these things. They've already got a lot of the stuff already in the cars, and so that's the thought process on those ones.
Yeah, the 80,000 number is quite surprising because we talked about how we're trying to decommission ours at 100,000, or really we were looking at the 80,000 and up as decommissioning, so that we're buying new vehicles at that number is surprising. So it's been a year. I'd love to see an update on the number of vehicles and the miles that they're at.
Oh, yeah, I can easily get that to you.
That'd be helpful. Thanks.
Any other questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you, Rick. All right, now moving into resolution and final reading ordinances. Resolution 2023-0079 will be moved to hearing one. And then the next resolution, 2023-0080, will be briefed by Councilmember Zepone.
What does it mean? This is calling for the independent investigation, is that right? Is that the one we're on? Yeah. So this is follow-up for when former city administrator Johnny Perkins left. This is looking for an independent investigation. There's been a lot of discussion in the community about wanting transparency about what happened. And in his departing letter, former city administrator made some allegations in that letter that were not investigated by HR. And so this is a resolution just asking for full transparency and learning lessons about what happened, because there's only been allegations and we don't know who knew what and when that allowed the situation to happen. But if we could, it's hard for HR to do that investigation because HR played a role in that and potentially, in the allegations, HR was alleged to have approved of things. And so it's really difficult to have that independence from HR if they're alleged to have done something. And so this would really allow for that transparency, and then hopefully, ideally, we'd have some lessons learned that we could turn and roll into an inspector general position in the future, knowing those policy changes that are needed. Yeah.
So I understand, talking with Mr. Wright, that you did try and meet with David Moss. Mr. Wright was
Yeah,
there.
so-
I think it was Councilmember Wilkerson?
Yeah. No, Councilmember Stratton.
Okay. And you were the only ones that were there. So I'm asking if another meeting can be set up before this happens. I'd like to hear from him if he has other suggestions or other things that we could do. I'm very concerned about the employees who were part of this, not wanting to have them continue to have to relive this, because it wasn't a pleasant experience. So if it's possible for you all to try and get another meeting with him, that would be my request.
Yeah, and to answer that, or there has been a lot of work on trying to get that meeting set up. So first, there's a couple things. This is not about the employees who already had the investigation. This is about the next level, which was how was it investigated and how was that investigated? So not necessarily the employees themselves. We had a meeting, me, Chris Wright, had a meeting with David Moss on August 23rd. At that meeting to talk about this was after it was introduced at committee and to have that conversation. And at that August 23rd meeting, we had agreed to have another meeting with a couple more council members, the mayor's office, legal, and HR. That meeting has never happened. And so if it is a priority of the administration, and I've told Mr. Jones this multiple times too, that we've tried and made every effort to coordinate schedules, we've freed up time, but there's been no follow through from the administration on setting up that time.
Could we try again?
Yeah, we can try. I mean, the last one we went to and nobody showed up and no one notified us they weren't going to be there. We were totally stood up at a meeting. And that was a week ago. It was last Monday.
We
I
went
up.
through how many different dates? I mean, it was a lot of time just getting these emails. Well, can you meet here? I mean, there was a lot of, we responded and in good faith.
Yeah, and so David Moss didn't show up to that meeting. We went and talked to his assistant about setting up another time the week after. It's been 1 week since then, and there's been no communication about creating another date.
Okay.
So I don't know the purpose of continuing to defer this to have more conversation when the administration has yet to come to the table.
Well, let's try
I'm happy to try again.
one more time.
I don't know if I'm interested in deferring again. I think that kind
Well,
of
I'm
keeps
not
them.
asking deferring right now. I'm asking to get another meeting before we vote on
Yes,
this.
yeah.
And if I could just respond, because I've been working with council, I didn't know there was a meeting that was on the schedule because I did provide a list that I was a part of as well, that I was not on that meeting invite. So I have been in conversations with the HR director this week about a follow-up meeting with the original list that I provided, working with the council members on, that included legal and HR, as council members Zapone mentioned, and also to review, I have asked HR to establish an after-action report as well to review all existing policies and training, onboarding for all staff, again, as far as the lessons learned that Councilmember Zapone mentioned as well. So I apologize, I wasn't a part of the meeting invite or the email interaction for the last meeting because I have been working directly with Councilmember Zapone and I wasn't aware that there was a meeting on the books.
I would just make a request that David Moss actually be here for that meeting so that all 7 council members could ask questions. I think that'd be helpful.
For the council meeting?
When we vote, yeah, so we can all ask questions.
Oh, yeah.
I was just saying, would you prefer to have him come to a committee to brief us about it, or no?
Committee, either way.
So we only have
Or
a week.
briefing, I guess, at briefing at 3:30, we can brief it again.
Okay. Thank you.
Sorry about that, writing down some notes. Next, Resolution 2023-0081. This will also be briefed by Councilmember Zapone.
Yeah, this is just a resolution that we talked about last week about formally, now it's denouncing Mayor Woodward for her actions that associated with former Matt Shea and Sean Fucht, that event.
And I am co-sponsoring this. There have been a lot of voices that have not been heard that we are hearing from the community, and says it's there's that vocal group out there, but there's another group of citizens out there, and if we're representing everyone, we have to take into account their concerns and their fears also. And again, it's not about religion. Both my parents are ministers. They taught me to pray without ceasing, so I've had some bunions and stuff on my knees in my lifetime, but really the leadership of the CEO of the city. And unfortunately, there have been other cases of CEOs who have been terminated for something less than this. But we're just trying to affirm to our community that we do not support this in a very strong manner, in a united manner. And I also said this could be an economic impact. We are working really hard to make Spokane a destination. We got a new stadium, we have the podium, we are bringing in sports and all kinds of music, and all those events are very diverse populations. It would only take really one bad incident around racism or LGBTQ to put a stain on the city and impact how those organizations view Spokane, and if they want to come here, and if they want to bring their children here to play. So that's why I'm saying we have to come out strong, we have to come out united, and so we can continue to move forward on a personal level, cultural level, religious level, and economic level.
Yeah, I would just add, I don't know if everyone saw this, but the football game between North Central and Pullman last Thursday was canceled in the middle of the game due to racist comments being made towards the players. And so I think it is really important for this city council to come out at this time when we're seeing incidents of hate in our community and say what our values are and what we stand up for.
All right, on to the next. Resolution 2023-0082, and this will be briefed by Councilmember Cathcart.
Yeah, we briefed this before real quick. It's just creating kind of a joint task force between the administration and council that would also include some of our collective bargaining organizations as well to try to come together and recommend policy and potentially charter amendments to create an office of Inspector General, which would have authority. Well, some of the authority could be debated amongst this group, but generally speaking, waste, fraud, abuse, and associated type activities within the city. So.
And I was talking to Mr. Wright again about this. We wouldn't necessarily need a charter change. That would probably, so we could do an SMC change.
Right.
Okay, good, thank you.
All right, perfect. Moving on to the next, Resolution 2023-0083, and this will be briefed by Jacoby, but I believe you briefed this also in committee. If there's any other questions? We good? Perfect. And then the next ordinance, C35425, Eldon was able to brief that. And then moving on to ordinance C36439, providing an increase in city business registration fees. This will be briefed by Tanya Wallace.
Thank you, City Council members. This is the annual review of the increases to our business licensing fees. We do this on an annual basis and increase them according to the CPI index, which this year it calculated to be at 3.1% as the blended rate. Just as a reminder, though, in 2021, the actions of the City Council as part of COVID recovery was to hold on the increase and then rebate 50% of it back to those businesses that were brand new starting out. And then in 2022, to further that, we also suspended the annual increase. So that is just in recognition of the work that the council has done to help businesses through COVID recovery. And then through 2024, this would put us back on par with those annual increases.
All right, thank you, Tanya. The next is the ordinance C36440 relating to the noise control. This was briefed last week by Chris Avert, but he is here if there's any additional questions.
Good afternoon, Council. As a refresher, these changes would move the allowable start time for solid waste collections. For commercial, this would be from 6 a.m. to 5 a.m., and for residential, from 7 a.m. to 6 a.m. These changes are to help reduce employee exposure at peak times of high temperatures and poor air quality. Any questions? Yes, Councilmember Kinnear.
It's for all year, though. It's not just
Correct.
during summer.
Correct, yep.
So what kind of danger are they facing in the winter, except extreme
It's
cold?
not, it's just stability for the employee schedules and also for public education so that we don't have it shifting back and forth and then
Got it.
having carts put out
Okay,
late.
that
so.
makes sense. Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Thanks, Chris. Ordinance C36441 will be considered under hearing number 2. And then moving on to first reading ordinances, ordinance C36444, relating to the regulation of massage and reflexology businesses. Mr. Chris Wright.
Thank you. Yes, Council, you remember we briefed this last week at Urban Experience. This is an ordinance that would use the city's licensing powers to add further enforcement provisions relating to massage and reflexology parlors who recently have become some of them, the more illicit ones, have been gotten involved in human trafficking, sex trafficking. And the City of Spokane Valley has enacted a similar ordinance to regulate these and add to their enforcement powers. This is our own version, modeled a little bit more after the City of Kent, and it gives our local officers the ability to come into these powers and make sure that those individuals that are working inside are actually licensed. And it's at the request of Spokane Police Department.
All right. Thank you, Chris. Now moving on to hearings. Hearing 1 is a resolution 2023-0079 authorizing a transfer of real property. And this will be briefed by Amanda Beck.
Thank you again. So back in July at Urban Experience, we had briefed for the resolution which would transfer the property at 3011 East Wellesley Avenue to the Northeast Public Development Authority. And the resolution that's going before you next Monday is to approve the property transfer, and then following that, we would do a purchase and sale agreement for them to develop the site. I have Jesse Bank here to talk up through any questions you have on what the site might look like once it develops, because really we're just interested in having our partner revive the site from what it is currently.
Afternoon, council members. It's great to be in front of you with this project again. This is really exciting. Just a very high-level reminder of what we're talking about here. Approving this transfer will pave the way for the development of approximately 30 units of affordable housing. Will pave the way for a ground-level commercial incubator in the Hilliard neighborhood, for an office space for the NEPDA, and will create some critical operating revenue for the NEPDA's mission going forward, and I think most critically to you all, a pathway to be made whole on the city's $418,000 lien. So with that, I'm happy to take any questions, and thank you again for your consideration.
Fan of the NEPDA, so it'll go to the NEPDA, and they will have total control, and the revenues will go to that organization. And then how will the city be made whole?
So the revenues, it's intended to be, we'll develop the property with or without a partner. Property will be operated for a period of time, some years, 2, 3, 4 years, something along those lines. And then at the disposition or sale of the asset, the city will take first position at the same level as any partners that the PDA has brought in until such a point that they're made whole on their investment, and then they will fall away and any remaining proceeds will flow to the NEPDA.
I know Councilmember Cathcart will speak, but I know that the NEPDA has really struggled and council has supported, so this will hopefully right or assist that ship in going forward. The NEPDA is the most we have supported. The others have been self-sustaining up until this point. So I guess I'm just a little challenged of equity in how these funds have been dispersed going forward. So Councilmember Cathcart can speak to that. You can speak to that.
Yeah, well, I just want to thank Jesse, first off, on all the work to put this plan together and all the time and effort to make sure that we could acquire the property for the PDA, assuming this all goes through. But yeah, I see this as a huge catalyzing opportunity for downtown Hilliard. I mean, there's so much happening now, but really this will be just an amazing add-on and addition for a neighborhood on the rise. And the partnerships too. I mean, we've already had conversations around some possible partnerships, really great community partners. They could do a lot of good things. I'm hopeful for the potential for some collaboration between the PDA and STA over some opportunities that might exist with this site as well. And so I think that this will be a great way to benefit the PDA and the neighborhood jointly and create, hopefully a way for the city to make its money back. But I would say too that, we could always forego our desire or willingness to take those proceeds and keep them in the PDA to keep reinvesting in that area when we get to that point a couple of years down the road. But for now, I see this as just a great project and a great thing to really benefit the PDA and Hilliard.
Yeah, thank you. And to address your concern, Councilmember Wilkerson, the PDA has been challenged from a revenue perspective for a long time. We don't have the growth that a lot of the other PDAs have had, and because our revenues are tied to that growth, we've been challenged. I'm happy to report in the last year we have approached something approximating financial stability, and we are continuing on that path to becoming self-sustaining finally. And I think this project will do a great deal to push us over the edge to become a self-sustaining organization that can continue to develop these services in that area throughout the lifespan of the organization.
And I'm excited about the catalyst. I'm really all about development, but there was no other entity outside of the NEPDA that was willing to take on this property for development.
I think it's cost prohibitive.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, I think really this asset transfer process really allows the city to use its surplus property to unlock a lot of value and to provide some affordable housing units, which is obviously a critical need.
Okay. That's great. I just know other entities have asked about city surplus properties for development, and we could never quite get a handle on what is available. So I'm excited for this opportunity for that to be the potential, especially housing. Thank you.
Great. Okay, thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Amanda and Jesse. And then the hearing number 2 is the final reading ordinance of the C364401 relating to the shoreline regulations that were previously briefed earlier in the meeting. And that will be the end of the briefing for the 2025 council agenda.
Great. Could I have a motion to approve the agenda, please?
Second.
So moved.
All those in favor? Aye.
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 Okay. Thank you. We'll see you back here at 6 o'clock.